So just to kick this off, hi everyone. Welcome this morning, and my name is Christian Donovan. I'm the Director of Performance Marketing at 3B1. I've over 8 years experience in PPC and conversion tracking. So welcome to conversion tracking. Welcome to cracking the code to conversion tracking on WordPress. So there's a lot of jargon out there that can make conversion tracking seem like you need to be a fully fledged developer to actually implement it, but that's just not the case. So the reason we're putting on this webinar is to demystify the process and show you that with the right tools, anyone can set up their own conversion tracking, even for e-commerce sites. So this webinar will be broken down into 5 parts. So firstly is the tools we'll be using. Secondly is the Google Tag Manager and GA4 installation and conversion setup. Then we'll move on to Metapixel installation and conversion setup. Then we'll do Google Ads conversion setup. And then finally, we'll have a Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions as we go along, just write them down and I'll try to get to them then at the end. So firstly, the tools we'll be using. Google Analytics 4 is the latest iteration of Google Analytics. Basically, what it allows you to do is just track how people are interacting with your website. So page views or more important events like calls or purchases, anything like that. And the Metapixel is the same thing, but for Meta, so for Facebook and Instagram. Metapixel is much more focused on ads, though, so it really solely focused on that, whereas the Google Analytics is kind of focused overall on everything. And then there is Google Tag Manager. So what Google Tag Manager does and is really, it deploys tags on the site without you having to edit code. So basically what it'll allow you to do is, say, set up an event where if someone clicks on a phone number link or fills out a form on your website, you can send that event then to Google Analytics or to the Metapixel. And that's how we'll set up the conversion tracking without you actually having to edit the code on your website. Then there are some WordPress plugins that we'll be installing. So on the left there is Pixel Your Site, and on the right is GTM for WP. So Pixel Your Site, what that does is allows us to just grab the ID from your Metapixel and from your Google Analytics account and just insert only those, and then it'll start tracking on your website. It's great as well because it'll automatically track the e-commerce functions straight out of that. And then GTM for WP is very similar, but that's how we'll install Google Tag Manager. Basically, we'll grab the Tag Manager ID and just input it there. Then lastly, these tools are the Metapixel helper on the left, which what that does, it just lets us confirm that when we've installed the Metapixel that it's actually installed properly and events are flowing through it. And on the right is the Google Tag Assistant. It's pretty much the same thing, but for Google, for the Google tags that we'll be creating. So with that said now, I'll move on to share my screen with you. So firstly, what we'll do is install Google Tag Manager. So if you log into your WordPress site and go to your dashboard, and then down the left-hand menu, go to Plugins and click on Add New. And then go over to Search Plugins and type in GTM for WP. And it's this one here by Thomas Geiger. It's big and orange, hard to miss. So click Install Now. And then click Activate. So now what you'll need to do is actually go to your Tag Manager account, which I have open here. And it's just this little ID here is all you need. So if you just copy that and then go back to your plugins, so back to your website, and down on the left-hand side, you'll see Settings and then Google Tag Manager. That wasn't there before we installed the plugin. It's in there now. And then if you just input your ID and click Save, that's now installed on the website. But one thing to look out for is it usually automatically turns this off. If this is off, it means nothing is being tracked. So just click it back to on and click Save Changes. And now if we go out to the actual website and use our Google Pixel Helper, or Google Tag Assistant, we can see the Tag Manager is actually on the site now as well. And now for Google Analytics, if we go back to Plugins, back to Add New, and the one I mentioned earlier is Pixel Your Site, so that's what we'll be getting now. If you click Install Now, it's this one here called by Pixel Your Site. So click Install Now. and then click on activate. So what you'll see now is a new section down here on the left-hand side of your dashboard called Pixel Your Site. So if you just click on that, then just scroll down, you'll see Google Analytics, click for settings. And what we need now is your actual Google Analytics ID. So if you go to your Google Analytics account and then go down to admin, it's in the bottom left corner. And then if you come across here to data streams under properties. So I've already created this stream, but if you haven't, click add stream and just go web, go through the process there. It only takes a second. So just click into your data stream if you have one set up. And then your measurement ID, that's actually all you need here. So just click copy and then go back here to Pixel Your Site and input it here under Google Analytics tracking ID and scroll way down to the bottom and just click on Save Settings. And now if we go back here and refresh this page using that tag assistant, we can see the tag manager is, that Google Analytics is actually now installed there as well. Okay, so next what we'll actually want to do is set up some events. So the event tracking is fairly simple. So what we'll do is we'll just go to a contact page. This is one I set up. So if you hover over, say, your phone number link, you can see the link in the bottom left-hand corner. It might be a bit small for you now, but when you're doing it, you'll see the link in the bottom left-hand corner. You can see every telephone link, for example, has TEL and colon. So if we go back here, or go back to your Google Tag Manager account, go into tags, click on new. On tag configuration here, click on that. And we are actually doing a GA4 event. So click on GA4 event. Actually, 1 second, I skipped a step. So if we go click on new and then tag configuration, and we actually want GA4 configuration there. So it's just above the GA4 event. And we want that measurement ID again. We're actually not going to use this, but without it, we just need to pause it after we create it, or else it won't fire the tags for us. So on triggering, just click on triggering, and you want that on all pages. And then just click save. It'll already give it that configuration name, so you're all good there. Click save on it. And we actually want to select that then and just click pause on it because we actually don't need it. We just need it to create the other tags later. So if we go back and create new, tag configuration, GA4 event, configuration tag, this is why we needed it here. So just click on the one you just created. So for event name, I'm going to call it click to call. Then you can scroll down to triggering. So this is what actually triggers that event. So go over to the right-hand corner. You'll see the top right corner. You see the plus blue icon and click new trigger. Then again, click edit on trigger configuration. And we actually want to go for just links here. And we don't want it to trigger on all links. So we want just some links. So click this down here. And it's actually at click URL for me now. Sometimes it isn't. Sometimes it won't appear here for you. If it's not, go to choose built-in variable. And all of the possible variables are there. So just say click, and you can even see the click URL there. And so contains, if we go back here again, contains that tell. So any links that contain this, we click save and name it something descriptive for yourself so you'll know what it is later. And then if you name your actual overall tag something descriptive again, so you'll know what it is. So call it GA4 and click to call. Then if you hit save, that is actually now created. So the next way to actually test if these are working on your website is to use Google Tag Manager's preview mode. So if you click on preview in the top corner, you can actually see if the tag is working without submitting it and getting it live on your website. So just click preview and input your URL you're testing it on, and then press connect. So this opened up the website for us, but it also opened up this page. So what this does is it shows you the tags that can fire and the ones that did fire. So we see that none are actually after firing now, whereas we want this one to fire. So if we click on this link here and it sets a phone number link, we can see that that's actually firing on phone number clicks now. So that's working for us. We know that's working. Likewise, what you can also do is set up your contact forms. So this, for example, I'll just write in my details. And if I click send the message, so we can actually see that that one goes to a thank you page. So that's perfect, grand and easy to implement there. So what we'll be doing for the next one, if you go back to your tag manager account, click into this tag, the one you just created, the click to call, top right corner, click on the 3 dots and then press copy. Then we want to rename it to contact form fill out. And we want to edit this top section because we don't want it to be firing that event name into Google Analytics. So when you're writing these as well, it's best just not to put any spaces in them. So I capitalize the first letter of each word just so that Google can pick them up properly. And then go down to your triggers, click edit on that, and you actually want to click the minus on the telephone one. Then click into the middle of it again. Again, click the blue plus icon in the top right corner. Then click on trigger configuration. And this one is actually a page view. So if we click on page view here, and again, we don't want it on all page views, just some page views. So select that. And what we actually need is the page URL. So it is showing up for us here. But if you choose built-in variable, you'll get all your options. So go page URL and then go back here and go back to the thank you page and grab the end of that URL. So just from the / after .com and input it in here. So any page URLs with any page views on page URLs that contain the / thank you will now trigger that event. So if we click save and name it something descriptive again, so we'll note the page view on those thank you pages because we'll be using it again later, and click save. And then click save again. So what we can actually do now is go back out here and click preview again, and it'll reset the instance for us. So click continue. We can now see that's a possible trigger, a possible tag that can fire. So we have this open. This is our test page. You can see because the tag assistant's connected. If we click on the phone number, we can see that one is fired now. And if we go in and actually fill out the form, and go back and check, we can see that that second tag has now fired as well. So those are actually working perfectly. Okay, so now onto that's how you set up the conversions with Tag Manager and Google Analytics. So now if we actually move on to doing the same thing with the pixel, with the Metapixel, what you'll want to do is log into your business Facebook account. So you can find that at business.facebook.com/settings/pixels. I know they make it awkward to find, but we can send you through the link if you need it, just because they do make it difficult to find at times. So I've created this pixel already, but it's really easy to make them once you're in here. So in your business manager account, so you just go down to data sources and pixels. You'll find any existing ones in here. If they don't exist, then you can create one. Just click add. And it's that easy to create it, but I have it already. So all we need here is this ID. So just grab this ID and copy it to your clipboard. And then if we go back here to your dashboard, I'm back into your WordPress dashboard. I'm actually back into Pixel Your Site. So it's down the left-hand side and back in here again to Pixel Your Site. And this time you want to click on the settings for your Metapixel. And under Metapixel ID, paste that in there. Then click Save Your Settings. And this is actually the pixel helper here. So if we go back, say, to the home page, you can see when that's reloaded, that's actually now firing. So that's installed already as well. So likewise, to do the actual events with Facebook, it looks slightly more complicated, but it's not actually too bad. So what you'll want to do is go back into your Tag Manager account, click on New, and then go to Tag Configuration. But this time we're going to Custom HTML, and we're actually going to input a little bit of custom code. So it sounds complicated, but it isn't. It's the same for every single event. Basically, you have a script, you have a thing saying to tell Facebook this is a custom event, to track it. And any event you put in the text here in the replace your text section, that's what it'll pop up as. So what I'll create this as is I'll replace that text, click to call. And then on triggering, we have the trigger already. So just links tell, that's why we named something descriptive. Click onto that one. And then we want to call it something descriptive again. So FB, click to call, so we'll know what it is. And click save. Okay, and we actually want to create the event for the form fill out as well. So click on that event you just created. Go up to the top right corner to the three dots, click on copy, and we'll rename that to the contact form. And of course, we want to change the name in here as well. So we'll replace that with contact form fill out. And then go down here to triggering, click edit. We want to get rid of the telephone trigger. Then click in triggering again. And now we want it on the page view for thank you. So when someone fills out the form, they go to the thank you page, and then we'll create the Facebook event there. So click save on that. And those events are actually now saved as well. But what you'll have to do anytime you go into Tag Manager to actually get them on the live site, you need to click submit up here. So submit and then publish the changes and then continue. So they should be on the live site now. So if we go back here to this webinar test site and just refresh it. So this is the pixel helper up here. So this is the one that shows us everything that's firing on the actual Facebook pixel. And then we go down to the contact us page. We'll head back to that page. If we click on the phone number, we can actually see that there's a button click detected in there. And if we go into 1 second there to do the so this might be because I'm logged into the site actually, yeah. So 1 second. Yeah, I'm logged into the site, so it's not showing up, but it is firing. It's on the same trigger as the Tag Manager one. I'll be able to show it to you in the actual event site in a second when we go to create the conversions. So those events are great and everything, but if we can't track them as conversions, then you can't optimize for them in your ads. So what we want to do then is go back into your business manager where you had your pixels, so under data sources and pixels, and then open in Events Manager. So over here in the corner, open in Events Manager. And basically what you want to do now is create a custom conversion. So just down here is custom conversions. Now these do actually take a little while to show up. They can take 24 hours to show up. So I did this yesterday as well, just to make sure they're coming through. So this is the contact form fill out, and I'll create the click to call now. So what you do is create custom conversion, call it what you want to call it. So click to call, and under event, you want to change that. So click to call here is our custom event. So that's firing through. And then they make you insert a rule in every one of these, but they don't make too much sense. So you can actually just put a / and that'll still work. You have an event here, so they'll all be different. And then you can select your category there as well. So you can say that it is a contact and then create that. And now that is actually created, and you'll be able to start using that in your accounts. And just going back to Google Analytics as well. So those events, I didn't show you them coming through, but so they are actually in here. So your Google Analytics events, if you go to your Google Analytics account, and then go to your admin in the bottom left corner. And there, where you actually want to look isn't in conversions, it's in events. And you can see they're actually coming through there. So again, these might take 24 hours to come through. So you might have to set them up and then come back the next day to do them. But you can see the click to call one here. They're nice and easy to see as well because of the format. So you just mark as a conversion and then you mark it as a conversion. And from there, they'll start showing up in your conversions reports as well. Okay, and so just moving on to Google Ads. So all these tags we've already created, we can use again for Google Ads. So what you need to do is go into your Google Ads account. And one way you can do it is import them directly from Google Analytics 4. So how you do that is you go to Tools and Settings. Then under Setup, go to Linked Accounts. Then you want to go to Google Analytics 4 and Firebase. Click on the Details button there. And you should see any Google Analytics accounts you've access to there. So basically what you'll need to do is click on Link under Actions. And one thing that you can't really see here, and often is a mistake people make, is Activate is over here and grayed out, which means that the link won't actually work properly. It won't work really at all. So you just need to refresh the page. And then click Activate. And what that lets you do is import your audiences that you create in Google Analytics. But what we can also do is import the conversions. So I'll show you that now. So if you go back to Tools and Settings, then go to Conversions. Then click on New Conversion Action. And then go over to Import. And what you want to use is Google Analytics 4 properties. And then continue. Actually, one step back. So New Conversion Action, then Import. And then Google Analytics 4. See what I made a mistake there that often happens as well is when you're looking for them, there's app and web. So app is only for apps. So you want to click web and then click continue. And 1 second there. Let me just refresh these. And these might not have turned up in it yet. So let me go into conversions, double check that there. So sometimes they can take a little while to be able to come across. Yeah, they're not actually coming across at the moment because they're just set up. But what you basically do is you tick any that you want to show up and you tag them there and then press import and continue. It'll import all of them. Yeah. So they're not actually there at the moment. Yeah, that's perfect. So you'll be able to see them in here then. Unluckily, we weren't able to bring the others across, but like I said, it can take a bit of time for these things. Usually it's an hour or two, but sometimes can be 24 hours. So then there is another way, which is slightly more accurate to actually count the conversions in Google Ads. So the first thing you want to do is go back to Google Tag Manager. And the best practice, if you're going to use any Google Ads, is always to set up a conversion linker tag. So click on New, Tag Configuration, and then Conversion Linker. And then what you want to do is click on Triggering, and then All Pages, and then just click Save. Basically, it just helps Google Ads to attribute more of the conversions that actually happen through Google Ads to Google Ads. So then you can optimize better and get more conversions down the road. So then what we want to do is click New again. And then we'll go back to Google Ads, click on New Conversion Event. And we want to click on Website this time. Now they're going to make us scan the domain. 1 second, let me get the link to the domain for us. This is a step they should really be able to skip, but you can't, unfortunately. So we'll have to just wait for it to scan the site. Okay, and you can cancel these ones and then just go down to add conversion action manually at the bottom. And so we'll be doing 2 different conversions. So we'll be doing submit a lead form. So let's call that one contact form fill out. If you have a value for a contact form fill out, you can put it in here. Otherwise, you can just not use a value, but I'd recommend if you do have one, like if you know the conversion rate and the value of the customer, to put it in here. We won't use it for now. And it also just count 1 instead of every, because if the person fills out the form 5 times, it's only as valuable as them filling it out once, really. So if you click on done, and then we'll add another conversion action manually. This one is going to be the click to call on the website. So we'll do that as contact and call it click to call website. Use the same, we can use the same value for every conversion there too. Likewise, if you know the conversion rate of phone calls to actual customers and the average value, you can put in a proper value here. And for now, we'll just leave it at 1. And likewise here, we'll just count it as 1 for every, because they could click the phone number multiple times. It only counts once, really. So click on done. And then what we'll need to do is click save and continue. So what we'll do is on these tabs, go over to use Google Tag Manager. And what we'll need to grab is this conversion ID first. This will be the same for all the Google Ads conversions you set up in your account. It's just the labels that change. You can see here the contact form, fill out the click to call website. So what we'll do is we'll grab the conversion ID, go back to our tag manager. So we've started creating that new tag. So click on tag configuration. And then what we want is Google Ads conversion tracking. So we need to add in the conversion ID, which is what we just grabbed. And then we'll actually need the label as well. So first we'll do the contact form fill out. So grab that label, copy it, and paste it in here. There's no need for the values here if you put them in on the other side. And then if you just go down here, so triggering, and we have that thank you page. So we see it in there. So click on that. And then that's done there. So just call it something descriptive again. So Google Ads contact form fill out. And click on save. And once again, just go into your Google Ads contact form fill out one you just created. What you want to do is actually make a copy of that and then change it to click to calls. To call. And then click on this tag configuration. The conversion ID remains the same, so it's the label we need to go and get. So that is click to call website. So copy that, paste it in here. Then we go down here to the triggering, get rid of this one for the contact page or contact form, and add in the telephone links one. So click on save there. And so what we want to do now is just test that they're all firing. So if we go back to that preview, click on continue. So we can see that conversion link or tag is already firing, which is exactly what we want. So if we click on the phone number, we can see the Facebook call is triggering, the Google Ads one is triggering, and the GA4 one is triggering. So they're all firing perfectly. And then go back in and just do the form as a test. Okay, so go back in here. And we can see that all of those form fill-outs are now actually firing as well. So we know they're all working properly. So again, once you're done creating tags, just make sure to press submit and then publish. And that is actually everything for the conversion tracking side of it. So we can now move on to the actual Q&A. 1 second there. So if any of you have any questions, now's the time to ask them, and we can hopefully get them answered for you. When you say workspace file, what do you mean by the workspace file? Sorry, David. So what I can do is I will share I'll actually put this in the chat, but I can give it to you all later as well, the Facebook event code. So that is the important one. So I'll put that in the chat right now, and any of you can take it down. Likewise, if there's any of those links or anything you need, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'll send you the full links as well there. Yeah, so you can measure who's going from a specific landing page, Leila, because through the events you can see what page they actually happened on. So if there's a purchase, you can see what page it happened on. Yeah. So hi Drov, thanks for the question. So for an e-commerce website, I've used GA4 e-commerce events tag in GTM, but the conversions don't fire. So you actually won't need that tag because Pixel Your Site does it automatically. If I just jump back in and we actually look at, I'll share my screen briefly with you again, 1 second. So on this test site, I have it in here. We can have a look. So if we just go to say this random chair, and then click on, oh, that's actually out of the template. Sorry, 1 second. So if I just look in here and we click add to cart, so we can see it's actually picking up the add to cart value for you. So it does the add to carts, it does the initiate checkouts, it does the purchases. So everything in there, it'll track everything. That's through the Pixel Your Site plugin, which is a very useful one. Okay, so Leila, so can you see where they're coming from if you have two ways that people can reach that page? So that would be down to your ad accounts as well. So you can see where they come from, yeah. So you can segment your traffic in your reports and it'll tell you where they're all from. So that's just in reports and acquisition. So let me show you that there. So if you go into your reports and your acquisition, it'll give you an idea of where they're all coming from. So you can see they're from Google Ads, from social, anywhere like that. You can also see within your own ads platforms how many people clicked on the links and get an idea that way. If you wanted to go in more detail on it as well, Leila, you can add a campaign URL builder, so you'll know exactly where they come from. But that's a bit different. That's if you type in Google URL builder, the top one will help you do that too. So again, Drov, just on that, if you're having trouble with Pixel Your Site, so the question was, when I create purchase and add to cart tags via Google Ads conversion, I get to see one conversion but no information about purchase price. I triggered the tags by page view of thank you page and cart page. So there is actually a pro version of Pixel Your Site as well that you can just straight up install the Google Ads conversion tracking, your Google Ads tag in, and it'll do all of that for you as well. I find the purchases actually from Google Analytics 4 work quite well, though. You can import them there as well. Do you recommend I don't use GA4 e-commerce events at all? Well, the thing is, they're automatically created by they're automatically created by Pixel Your Site, so you actually don't have to create them in Tag Manager then. So the add to carts, everything is automatically created there, and they pull in the values for you. And Leila Buncher, will this be recorded? Yes, this actually will be recorded, and we're not sure how we're going to send it out yet. So we might send it out in full, or we might do it in clips, but we're definitely recording it. Glad I could help, David. Okay, I think that's pretty much everything so for today. Thanks very much, everyone, for attending. If you have any questions on it at all, just connect with me on LinkedIn if we're not already, and send me a message. I'd be happy enough to help and send any links to different things over to you that you need. So I'll speak to you all soon. Best of luck, and thanks again for coming to this first webinar.